Welcome back.
Hey. It's been a while.
This is our first time getting together to record in maybe like a month.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did record our third episode a month ago. I think for 45 minutes.
It was a little
Audio never worked. So we spent 45 minutes talking and couldn't hear a thing.
Yeah.
And then I had bronchitis for 2 weeks. So
here we are.
We're back.
She's healed and recovered.
Better than ever.
Yes. Thank you guys for your patience with us too as we navigate just life. Which I feel like is like the whole point of this.
Yeah,
this show.
Exactly.
So it's really fitting. Yeah.
And I think at the end of our second episode, we had promised Kyle specifically that we were going to talk about our religious/spiritual journeys and touch upon the law of attraction, but we have lied to you. And both of us didn't really feel ready to talk about that just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, we figured we talk about our personal fitness journeys and what that's been like.
Yeah, we're definitely going to cover this topic down the road, Kyle. So please forgive us for the lying. Forgive us for the lying. But I think where we were both kind of at is we're both still very much in the middle of our own religious journeys and experiences with the law of attraction. And like, I can't speak for Lauren, but I don't feel ready to talk about that publicly yet. So we're just gonna wait.
I'm going to interject and talk a little bit about it. Only because it brought it up for me. So when I was sick, I've never had bronchitis before. So coughing constantly and not getting any sleep was so exhausting and frustrating. And during the day, I could kind of tough it out. But when I'm trying to sleep at night, the postnasal drip when you're laying down was the worst. So I started praying a couple times throughout the 2 weeks I was sick, just hoping to be in good health and that I'd feel better soon. And I obviously knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. But tell me how last Friday, it was like a night and day difference. I felt so much better right before a busy weekend, and it was also my birthday weekend. And April in general is so busy for me, so it just happened at a perfect time. And that made me want to start praying more and actually dive a little bit deeper into that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because the 2 weeks I was sick, thankfully, I didn't have any plans. So I was able to rest and take that time. But I'm like, I need to be better for April. I have so many appointments this month. So it worked out.
It did work out.
That's thank you, God.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Oh my God, that's so cool. I love it. More to come on that too. Mm-hmm. More to come down the road. But today we're going to pivot a little bit and talk about fitness instead, which is completely opposite of the law of attraction. But one thing that I do like, and I reference a lot in my own life, is I have listened to, do you know who Josh Trent is? Have you heard of him?
No.
Okay, so he hosts a podcast called Wellness and Wisdom, and he refers to this whole concept of wellness as a pentagon, and that there are 5 pillars of it. And one of them is physical, the other is mental, emotional, spiritual, and then also financial.
Ooh.
And so hearing you talk about the religious piece of it, and now we're shifting to physical, it's all wellness related.
Yeah.
It's all related. It's all related.
Yeah.
But so here we are, guys. I feel like the both of us have gone through such different experiences when it comes to fitness and what that looks like for each of us too. So Lauren, I'm curious, how would you define your relationship with fitness now versus maybe like 5-10 years ago?
I didn't even have a relationship with fitness 5-10 years ago. I don't even want to say I started my fitness journey with you, but I kind of did, because you had a membership to Planet Fitness, and I would go with you, I think, a couple times as a +1 because it was free. Obviously, that's the only reason I would go. But I never really took it seriously. We always loved to go on walks. I think that was the biggest thing I ever did. I did a couple of hikes here and there, but I never took it seriously until probably 5-6 years ago. And what helped is my fiance is a strength and conditioning coach. So I feel like if he wasn't, I'd probably still take it more seriously now, but it definitely helps that he's in that field. But I love it now. I love it. It helps me a lot mentally. And I feel like the day-to-day, I don't really recognize or notice that it does help me, but it's helped me be more disciplined. I'll say that.
Did you notice it when you were sick and you weren't able to work out? No, the mental aspect of it. I mean, like.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't even have the energy to go on walks. So I was just laying on the couch for 2 weeks straight, which I did not like. But I've also learned in my fitness journey, you have to rest when your body needs it, no matter what. And that's the only way it'll get better.
It's so true. We're such a cycle. Yeah, we're not meant to run 24/7. We need those active periods of recovery. Yeah.
And sometimes I think my body shuts down and gets sick because I'm so go, go, go all the time, which happens, but
it will force you. There's this saying, I'm going to butcher it, so it's not verbatim, but it's something along the lines of like, when spirit talks to you, first it talks in a whisper, and then if you don't listen, it becomes louder and louder and louder until it becomes a punch, and then like the most extreme versions of it. And I've experienced that too. When I find myself going consistently and not allowing myself the time and rest I need, I am forced to rest because I will get sick or something will happen to me physically where I have no choice but to rest.
And it's funny because not being able to sleep, I think that's why I was sick for so long. There were, I think, 2 or 3 nights out of the 2 weeks that I did get a good night's sleep. And the next day I felt so much better.
Yeah.
So sleep helps a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's so needed in the fitness journey. Absolutely.
I have questions for you too.
Okay.
What inspired you to start your fitness journey?
Oh, I don't know, because I feel like if I think about my relationship with fitness, when I was younger, I played a lot of sports. I think it started originally as a source of athleticism and just an after school hobby. There's something to do after school, middle school and high school. Yeah, that was the big one for sure. It really was. I honestly miss it so much. I've been looking to find an adult league around here, and I just can't find one.
I played softball in middle school for a few years, and it was fun just to have something to do after school and be with friends and be outside. That was the biggest thing too.
Agreed. Yeah, is the being outside. But yeah, I feel like as I got older, I switched from playing a lot of sports to doing. I've always loved walks as well. Same to you. I think when I reflect on that, I really think it's because of where I grew up. I think about the town that we lived in and the street that I lived on, and the activity that I recall doing most of all is just walking.
Because what else is there to do?
Not much. Yeah, not much. But I'm really thankful for that though, because it has given me such an appreciation for the outdoors. I think my dad has a big part in that as well. My dad has always been such an active hiker and adventurer.
He's the one who got us into hiking.
Yeah, he did get us into hiking. And that has always really stuck with me. And I think kind of what inspires my fitness journey now that's a little bit different is I feel like as I'm approaching 30, in all seriousness, I'm doing it because like my body needs it, and because I do also recognize the difference in how I feel physically, emotionally, mentally. And I'm also starting to see some of the ramifications, specifically my grandparents, of like what happens when you don't take care of yourself in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and how it plays out when you're getting into later age. And I don't want that to happen to me. So I think it's multiple folded. Yeah.
And again, going back to the day-to-day, not really noticing what fitness can do for you, how it benefits you. I notice it when I'm playing with my nieces and nephew and I'm able to pick them up easily and run around and play with them. Or the biggest example for me is carrying all your groceries up the stairs and being able to.
In one trip. Yeah. One trip. It really is. That's it. It's helping us get better with everyday life. Yeah. Which I think in this day and age too, like you work at a desk most of the week, and I do a lot of sitting in my job sometimes. It really depends on the week. But
even standing for long periods too, that's not good.
Yeah.
For your lower back at least.
Yeah. And we're evolutionarily, I feel like we're not meant for the lifestyle that we live right now.
Not at all.
To keep that level of movement going is so important. Yeah.
And kind of adjacent to fitness, your health, like what you put into your body, especially. I'm going to say it. I hate Western medicine. I definitely know you do too.
Disclaimer, time and place for it. I'll say there is definitely a time and a place for it.
Yes.
Continue.
But in general, I feel like Western medicine, the doctors just immediately prescribe you a medication, and the medication only masks the symptoms of whatever you're experiencing. It doesn't get to the root cause. And right when I started my fitness journey, I also had this recurrent medical issue. And again, the doctors prescribed me a medication, and it would work for a couple weeks and then come right back. Mm-hmm. And at one point I told them, I said, I don't want to keep doing this because clearly it's not working. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. They obviously had no other options for me. They were basically like, well, this is what you have to do. Yeah. So I took it into my own hands and I did my own research, and I found how diet can affect you. Mm-hmm. And I read a bunch of articles, and I think I only saw one article that mentioned cutting out dairy for the specific issue that I was dealing with. And at that point, I was at my wit's end. So I'm like, I'll try anything at this point. Mm-hmm. And once I went dairy free, it was gone, and I haven't experienced it since. And it's been almost 6 years since I've been dairy free, which sucks at times.
She's a big ice cream lover.
But hey, I'm doing it for me. So
we find a way around it.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
No, I think that's super important to say and to share, because I also have had a similar experience with that too, with Western medicine, and specifically with my PCP, which again is on myself as we're talking to just like find a better one, but I haven't, so come at me.
I've said that for the past 5 years. I need a new PCP.
Yeah. But no, I also had a similar experience where I was getting what I thought were reoccurring UTIs, and every time I would go to the doctor, she would automatically, before my culture even came back, give me an antibiotic. And at the age that I was when this started, we didn't have blind trust. Yeah, blind trust. So I just took all of these antibiotics, not thinking about the repercussions on my gut and everything else that's going on in my body with them. And then eventually it got to the point where my cultures kept coming back negative and I had no infection, but she was still making me finish all of these rounds of antibiotics, because you're not supposed to just stop them in the middle of them. So then I ended up going to see a specialist, and same thing. She said, let's put you on an elimination diet before we do anything else, because I'm curious to see if any foods are playing a role in what's happening, because there were no actual infections going on. And lo and behold, also food related for me. Like I get these sensations and pains similar to a UTI when I consume certain foods. And I would have never known that if I had just kept taking an antibiotic and been like, this is going to fix it. Mm-hmm. I never did.
No.
Never did.
No.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what our bodies can do with real quality food.
This is kind of, I'll start with this one.
Okay.
When you started working out, did you have any goals in mind, or was it kind of just like, oh, it's like a fun thing to do once in a while?
It's funny because when I think about this answer, the first thing that comes up for me is my journey with yoga, and not even specifically like lifting weights. Mm-hmm. Because yes, when I first started practicing yoga, I did do it as a physical workout for the physical benefits of it. But I found that the more often that I was doing it, I started noticing all of these changes in my personality and in the way that I just kind of moved throughout the day, and my internal monologue started shifting a little bit. And I feel like that gave me the goal to want to pursue it more from a mindfulness perspective. Still physical, but less physical. So, I currently don't have many physical goals right now. And that is actually something that I'm actively working on, because I've been trying to find a different style of workout that I really like best, because although I do love yoga, it's not fully providing me everything that I need at the moment. So I'm trying to figure out what does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what about you? That was a good question. I'm going to spin it back.
So when I started working out, it was just something fun to do, because I had just started working for a hospital health system. And so we're able to go to the gym for free there. And I had just started a new job, and I had a coworker who was the same age as me. So we would go together after work, and it was something to look forward to. That's also when I started seeing my fiance. And some days I would feel not pressured by him, but obviously that's his world. That's what he does for work. And I would feel like he would, not that he would like me less, but I felt embarrassed if I didn't go as often as he does for some reason. So once in a while he'd be like, oh, how was the gym today? I wouldn't have gone. And I'd be like, oh, it's great. I loved it. Sweat a lot. So yeah, and that's also when I fell in love with hiking too.
Yeah.
So that was just a passion of mine. But I didn't really have any specific goals. I just loved going. And then when I noticed being dairy free and starting to work out, I lost like 10 to 15 pounds. And I just felt so much better. It was a good time in my life. I didn't really have any specific goals though. But now as the years go on, there are certain things I would like to work on, but I don't have really a specific goal. I was never the person where it's like, I need to lose 10 pounds. I honestly never have and don't care about the number on the scale.
Yeah.
I just want to feel good and look good.
Yeah.
I could be vain. Comes out. Yeah, I could be vain, but I do very much believe in look good, feel good.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of power to the little promises that you keep to yourself, and working out is such a big one, because at the end of the day, like we know with what you said to your fiance, you're the only one that knows if you worked out or not. You're the only one that knows if you kept the promise to yourself that you were going to do something. And those little promises added up over time are what your self-esteem is made out of. It's the respect that you have for yourself ultimately. And it's so cool to see that when you start to get those physical results, it makes you want to keep those promises more, because you're like, oh, this is paying off. Sometimes it can be really challenging in the beginning of especially a fitness journey, but any journey, when you don't see the results right away, because you're like, is it working? Should I keep doing this? But ultimately, yes, you should keep doing it over time.
But what's funny, I feel like even working out kind of made me have more body dysmorphia in a way, because I look at all these other people in the gym who are super toned and fit, and I'm like, I want to look like that. Another reason I want to delete my Instagram altogether, because I just compare myself a lot to people. But going back, I'm the type of person who feels super guilty too. So if I miss a workout, I feel like complete crap. So that's when I go back to, it's about discipline, not motivation.
Yeah.
Because most days, I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym. Yeah. Most days I don't feel like it, but I do it regardless. And honestly, when I wake up in the morning, when my alarm goes off, my first immediate thought sometimes is, I don't want to, especially in the winter when it's super, super dark here and cold and you just don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
But whenever I think that, I immediately am like, just get up, just get up, just get up. And I do. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, that reminds me of something that Mel Robbins always talks about too, of her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like the second you open your eyes in the morning, you say to yourself, okay, I'm getting out of bed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you get out of bed. And you don't like give yourself the option
or an excuse to
Yeah.
Nice.
You just count down out loud and you do it. I've never done that personally, but it
sounds nice.
Yeah, it does sound nice. It's a solid theory. Yeah. No, I think it's also a really important distinction that you made between motivation and discipline, because one of the things that I did want to ask you was, how do you stay motivated on hard days? But it's not motivation, it is discipline at the end of the day. And just the keeping of the promises that you make to yourself that you're going to do this.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And do it for that ass.
Yeah. Just like the J. Cole lyrics, you got a little butt, so what? And I stick by that. Some days you truly just do not want to work out at all. Some days it is needed to give your body a rest, but I feel like on those days I at least still go for a walk or do something. And another thing I've done is just go on the treadmill. If I don't feel like strength training, go on the treadmill. I bring a book. Something is better than nothing, always.
Yes. Yeah.
That's another rule of mine.
And sometimes I feel like you don't even have to go all the way to the gym. Like you said, you can go take a walk outside. Even if you just go up and down your stairs sometimes and elevate your heart rate, it's always better than nothing. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. I totally agree. What are some of your favorite ways that you move right now?
I love lifting weights. That's probably my favorite, besides hiking. Hiking's my favorite cardio. I hate doing actual cardio in the gym. So I'd say hiking and weight training. Specifically upper body. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just love it.
Can you do a push-up?
Modified.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Modified, not a real one.
Nice. That's hard. Okay. I grew up also the sports that I played, all of my muscle mass is in my legs. And so when I first started lifting weights and doing yoga, I had zero upper body strength. And I would go into a plank and I would already just be like
shaking.
Yeah. So no, I think that's really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Still can't do a pull up, but
not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Do you prefer working out alone or with others?
Oh, it honestly depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can think of there are certain certain workouts that I would prefer to do alone, and then actually no, it honestly just depends on my mood. Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like sometimes I think I work out because I'm in a more negative headspace, and when I'm in that headspace, I don't want anyone around me, and I would rather be quiet and introspective. But when I want to move from a place of just like gaining energy, and I have a lot of energy to give, I like to do it with other people because I feel like it helps keep my energy up, and it helps keep the mood higher. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes working out with other people helps keep you accountable. I mainly would prefer to go hiking with people, but I also love solo hikes too. I think overall I do prefer to work out alone though. Just blast music and do my own thing. I don't have to necessarily wait on anyone. I think alone.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that too, especially if you're on a very different program than someone else. Too.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Ooh, this one has to do with food. Do you have any favorite go-to snacks or meals to help you fuel for a workout?
Ooh. I love protein shakes. That's always a big one for me. But I lately have been loving protein oat balls. Oh, saying like oats, peanut butter, a protein powder, chocolate chips, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, and then rolling them up into little balls and freezing them. Yeah, sometimes if I'm feeling extra indulgent, I will dip some of it in dark chocolate. But usually, yeah, I like something like that. I've been trying to experiment lately with the time of day that I like to work out at, and that also comes with different eating habits. Like I notice when I work out in the morning, I don't eat beforehand and I'll eat afterwards. Yeah. If that's the case, like I love eggs. I love anything with eggs in it. Yeah. There's a restaurant near us that it's called the Sunshine Scramble. And they make hash browns with eggs and roasted peppers, green onions, onion, a guacamole, and a chipotle aioli that they sprinkle on top of it. That is the most satiating meal after a workout ever. And I'd love to get it before I go on a plane because I'm full for so long.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing super specific right now. I feel like that is something also that I'm trying to figure out within my own fitness journey, but anything related to protein, like a protein shake, or I don't really like protein bars. Like they taste really artificial for me, so I've been trying to get it elsewhere.
And a lot of them have a lot of crap in there.
Yes.
It's not as healthy as you think.
Yes.
I know. I've experimented with what time I go to the gym, what works best for me, which is early in the morning. Even on the weekends, it's the first thing I do. So I don't like to eat before a workout either because I just feel gross. I would prefer to eat after. And I usually do the same thing, like avocado toast with egg, or I've been making my own smoothie bowls, so stuff like that. Something that is high protein fills you up.
It really does, yeah. Yeah. If I'm going to work out in the afternoon, I like to still have all of that, but I usually give it like an hour at least before I work out. So that way I don't feel that bloatedness. It also depends too, like if I am going to do a workout in a sauna, for example, or something a little bit more high intensity, I feel like I'm less willing to want to eat before.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also don't believe in energy drinks and pre-workout. Everyone asks me what mine is. I'm like, sleep and water. Oh, really?
Yeah, I like to before I lift. Yeah. It helps me focus. Same with yoga. I love to do that before yoga. But no, I agree. I don't take any type of supplement or pre-workout or anything like that either. But that's also because I have a heart murmur. So I just I have to naturally watch my caffeine intake anyways. And I'm so sensitive to caffeine that if I even consume any of it after noon, I can't sleep.
Which is crazy because this girl in high school would get migraines if she didn't have a cup of coffee.
It's true.
In high school.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's true. Yeah. It's really is. my eating habits were shit.
Same here. We live and learn.
Yeah, we live and learn. But it is amazing to see the phases that you go through with food, because now I feel like I can't. And maybe I have this because of all the caffeine I used to consume.
Maybe.
I used to drink like 1 or 2 Red Bulls a day.
Yeah.
For probably like.
I have heard energy drinks, they do cause heart problems. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't touched one of them in years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't. Those type of stuff is not for me. If you like it, go for it. But it's not for me. Yeah.
Besides motivation, finding the motivation to move, what's the hardest thing you've had to break in order to continue with your progress? Any habits?
I think just that. I think I don't even know how to word this. The hardest habit that I've had to break is probably getting over the voice in my head that says, just relax today. Just take it easy. Because I am so prone to listen to that voice without question that I have to actively say, no, I'm going to do this because I told myself I was going to, and it's going to make me feel better once I do it. It's all, I think the biggest habit is more of an internal, an internal monologue. That
I get that.
Yeah, nothing really external comes up for me.
It's internal for me too. My thing is, I doubt my abilities so easily. So I'll do this new exercise or, want to increase the weight, which is the only way you'll get stronger. But I immediately tell myself, oh, I'm not strong enough to do that. I can't do it. I haven't even tried. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. And you know what you do? If it is too heavy, you decrease it.
Yeah.
You won't know if you don't try. So that's my thing. I feel like I spend a lot of time doing like the same weight, same amount of reps and sets, and you're not really going to get stronger that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if that's your goal, then no. But if your goal is to maintain it, it will. It all depends on what your end goal is. I feel like, but no, that's a big one too. That you can't even try.
Yeah.
Do you also think in that scenario too, just thinking about it in the gym specifically, do you think it's also because you think that other people are judging you?
Oh, 100%.
And you're worried about them watching you flunk out all this weight.
When literally no one is looking at you. Literally no one.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares. So yeah, trying to get over that.
It's so funny how we make ourselves. We are the main character in our own movie that is our lives, but we also make ourselves everyone else's main character.
I know.
It's not the case.
Like, they don't care about you. It's fine.
No.
My last question, and I'm always so curious about this when I'm in the gym. What kind of music do you listen to when you work out? What do you like to listen to?
Oh,
because everyone is so different.
Yes, this also really depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I'm angry, I like to have I'm not a big screamo person, but I do like to have a lot of heavy rock or old school rap or R&B. If I'm feeling super energized, there is nothing like a good 2000s pop banger. Especially if I want to run, I'll play Jamie All Over by Mayday Parade any day of the week and run to that. I don't know why I'm embarrassed to admit this, but sometimes I like to listen to worship music, and I don't
really.
I like not as specifically worship. I say that because I don't really practice any specific religion at the moment, but I like to listen to things that talk about higher vibrational things like worship. Yeah, I like that too.
That's what I like to know.
Yeah,
because some people listen to slow music. I could never. I need upbeat, energetic songs like early 2000s. Rock music. It's pretty much it. Classic rock I like to listen to a lot too. Yeah.
Sometimes, if I'm being completely honest, I'll also go to the gym and just wear headphones and not have anything playing.
I can't do that. I hate Planet Fitness music. That's why.
I don't even listen to it. I can't hear it with my noise canceling headphones. I just zone it out. But sometimes I don't really want to listen to anything. And then I've never been a big person to listen to audiobooks or podcasts or anything while I work out unless I'm just on the Stairmaster.
Same.
But yeah, no, it usually is something that will bring my energy up. Yeah, is what I like to listen to there. Yeah. If I'm doing something outside, any type of workout outside, I don't like any music because I just like to listen to the wind or the birds or whatever's around. I thoroughly judge the people that have boom boxes playing when they hike. Why is that necessary?
God,
I know. I don't get it. We're there to be in nature, to listen to nature. I don't want to listen to and most of the time, I just also don't like their taste of music. So I'm like, this is trash.
It's not usually good.
Yeah, it's trash. Yeah. Oh, man. Also, I have one last question too.
Okay.
For someone that is just getting started on their fitness journey, whether it's for the first time or they're starting again and coming back to it, what is one piece of advice that you would say?
Or just one?
Yeah, or top 3, however many you want. But most relevant pieces of advice or information that you would give someone that's just starting.
I'd say to be realistic with your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You can't automatically say, I'm going to run 10 miles a day, because that's not realistic for anyone just starting out.
You'll injure yourself.
Yeah. Like the first day you may run 10 miles and you'll feel great because you say, oh, I have this new goal. I want to better myself. I feel good. And then if you have to do it again the next day or 2 days later, you're not going to. And you expect yourself to do that constantly. That's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say be realistic with what you want to do. Start off slow and gradual. Find what you like to do as well. And then just continue to work on that. And my other piece of advice is one thing doesn't work for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you do need to find what you like to do. Continue working on that. And what I've said before, something is always better than nothing in my book. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Very wise.
What about you?
Yeah. I think really similar. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me or something that I would say is don't be afraid to experiment and to find what works for you. Because I think especially in the day and age that we live in with how prevalent everyone's opinion is online and social media, that our perception of fitness can be viewed and skewed a certain way. And just because you're not doing something that you see someone doing online does not mean that you're not contributing to your fitness goals and your fitness journey. And it might not look like the way that someone else is doing it. Like we like to lift weights and do things outside, and I like to practice yoga as well. But someone else might like to do jujitsu or a form of martial arts or kickboxing, or someone else might like to do archery, or someone else might like to do swimming, or who knows what it is. But I would definitely encourage everybody to just not be afraid to try everything until you find what you really love, because ultimately that is what will help it stick and become a habit. Is if you don't, regardless of if you love it, there will still be days mentally where you don't feel like showing up, but it will be easier to show up knowing that you naturally love what it is that you're going to do, instead of making it feel like a chore or forcing it. Yeah. And
there are certain exercises I will never do because I hate doing them. And that's another reason I want to delete Instagram, because all those fitness influencers, you're just comparing yourself constantly to them, and they think that they're the end all be all and this is what you have to do. And no, because everyone's different. So yeah, definitely find what works for you and what you like to do, because once you find something that you like to do, you'll continue to do it.
Yeah. And also be open to the possibility that what you like to do might also change over time. And if you have a routine that's been going on for however many months or years and you just don't feel inspired by it anymore, that doesn't mean that it's not necessarily failing, but it might be an inkling to want to try and wander down a new path and try something else. And that's okay too. Like she said, something is always better, especially when it comes to our fitness too. I think there are more than enough studies and proof out there on the internet that the way that we move really does impact our mental and emotional health, not just our physical health. Yeah.
I think the most basic foundation everyone should have that will better your physical health: drink water, get a good night's sleep, get some type of movement in, whatever that may be, and eat as best you can. Because again, those people who count their macros, I don't even know what that is. They count their calories, all that. I'm not about that. It takes too much time. I'll feel super guilty if I go over it.
Yeah.
So I'd say I eat well 70 to 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And I indulge, in moderation. It's fine. You're not going to die if you have junk food.
No.
And just don't eat it constantly.
Yeah. And I think for some people, that type of discipline and regimen does work with the tracking of the macros if they really need it. But for someone And I especially think of people that have had like eating disorders or restrictive eating or any type of body dysmorphia to be so black and white with how you consume food and what you're consuming, I don't think is always necessarily a beneficial thing. So I think that's very important to say too. Yeah. But I agree. It's very simple. We need water, sunlight, and good food.
Yes.
Like a plant. Is there anything else that you'd like to round us out with today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you guys want to comment down below what your favorite workouts are and what you like to do.
Yes.
I do like to have inspiration.
Yes. And also tell us how you keep yourself inspired on those hard days too. We want to hear it as well.
Because it is hard. It is really hard.
And we're here for you too from a distance.
Yes.
A little
virtually.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode. We're excited for the next episode because we're going to be talking about our favorite books ever and books that we think you should read.
Yes. I love it.
Which is another hobby that we love doing. So
yes, and they're going to span from all different genres as well, because as though we love reading, our reading tastes are also very different.
Very different.
Yes, so stay tuned for that. You're going to get some good recommendations, hopefully just as you did today. Thank you for sticking with us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Tuning into another episode. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.